This is the review video for scientific notation. Scientific notation is what we use to represent very big numbers or very small numbers using exponents. Looking at the first example, A, we have 9.28 times 10 to the fifth power. So to rewrite this in standard form, which is the normal way that we usually write numbers, I'm going to start with 9.28. So I'll write that number, 9.28. And then if that number is being multiplied by 10 5 times, it's going to move the decimal 5 spaces to the right. So let's count that out. So I start with the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the decimal ends right there. I'm going to fill in the empty spaces with zeros. And then I have my final number in standard form. And you can add a comma if you want. 928,000. Looking at example B, we have 8.74 times 10 to the negative sixth power. So that's like dividing it by 10 6 times. So it's going to get smaller, and we're going to move the decimal 6 spaces to the left. So start by writing 8.74. I'm going to write it out here on the right, so I can have space to move the decimal left. And we need to go 6 spaces to the left. So decimals here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. It ends right there. Then I'm going to fill in the zeros. And for some reason it's not drawing my last decimal, but I'll rewrite it up here. So your final number would be 0.12345 zeros, and then 874, like that. Okay, looking at the examples on the right, it's asking us to write each number using scientific notation. The decimal should be after the first non-zero digit. So that's a key thing to remember. We want to rewrite 31,560,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write all of the non-zero numbers. That's 3, 1, 5, and 6. And I want the decimal to be after the first non-zero digit. That's the 3. So I want the decimal to be right here. And if I go back to the original number, that means the decimal would have to be right after that first 3. So now I need to count how many spaces that decimal has to move to get to the end of the number. So counting it out, if it starts after the 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces to get to the end. So since we went 7 spaces to the right, this number can be written as 3.156 times 10 to the positive 7th power. Let's look at the next example. We're going to rewrite this number in scientific notation. We want the decimal to be after the first non-zero digit, which is a 2. So we want the decimal to be right after the 2. So I'm going to rewrite the numbers 2.7. And if I want the decimal here, but the decimal's actually here on the left, so I'm going to count how many spaces I have to move it to get to its original spot. So it would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces to the left. Right, 7 spaces to the left. So I would rewrite this number as 2.7 times 10 to the -7th.